Whether 2020 was a total loss for you or you picked up some good habits that only slowing down could teach you, we're going to talk about 21 ideas for healthy habits that you can continue or start in 2021. Good morning, good life. Welcome back to Amy TV, where we come together to help you go after the life you want. I am all dressed for a healthy chat in my really sporty athleisure. This was definitely the most fun thing about 2020 was stepping up my athleisure game. I just have so many wonderful outfits to traipse my home in. But I definitely picked up some new healthy habits I was not expecting, in addition to looking good while being healthy, that I wanted to share. And I'm going to break them up into our 7 key categories for going after the life you want, which is health, mindset, career, relationships, wealth, spirituality, and legacy. So here are 21 healthy habits that you can start in 2021. Starting with your health. I have been a long time lover of the sponsor of this episode of Amy TV, who's helping me share my first tip with you, and that's our friends at Care of. I have been using their vitamin packs for years now. They've been a partner of Amy TV in the past, but I absolutely love these vitamins. I think I shared this in a vlog recently that I always take my vitamins before bed because they are easier going down after I've had a nice big dinner. So it's just been the easiest time of the day that I can remember them. But I feel like this is what's keeping me pretty even keel and healthy, is by taking custom vitamins that I chose for myself every single day. Here's what you need to know to get the custom packs for yourself. When I say custom, I don't just mean they have your name on it, but every day they do. And they have a fun little fact as well. But you can actually go and take their holistic online quiz. This is where high quality products meet personalization. Their in-depth online quiz asks you questions about your diet, your lifestyle, and your health concerns to help you address your specific wellness goals. It's like getting a one-on-one consultation with a nutritionist. A couple examples of vitamins I chose for my pack include keratin, which is great for hair fullness and shine, magnesium, because you know we need that restful sleep, and of course, fish oil for omega-3 fatty acids, helping with healthy heart and brain function. Care of is committed to a holistic, tailored approach to your health needs, and I love having personalized vitamins for what I chose for myself. You can do the same when you take their quiz, and use my code in the description down below so that you can get 50% off your first month of vitamins from Care of. Thanks to them again for sponsoring this episode of Amy TV. On a similar note, my second healthy habit is 16 ounces of water to start every day. This is my pro tip for somebody who does not drink a lot of water, not enough anyway. I always start with 16 ounces of lemon water. Everyone's always heard about my lemon water for a long time, but the big thing here is not the lemon, it's the water. The lemon is tricking me to drink the water. By starting the day with 16 ounces, I increase the chance I'm not going to get dehydrated and will have more water throughout the day. I make myself have it before I have my coffee, and therefore it's kind of like a reward based on a habit that I'm building. My third tip is to schedule your sleep. I literally put on the calendar what time I need to be in bed so that I have a hot chance of falling asleep at the right time, get enough sleep to wake up to start my day on the best terms possible. Sleep is important, not just for a great morning routine, but for your overall health. Now moving on to mindset. My fourth healthy habit moving into 2021 is to write everything down. When we write, we take the hypothetical and we bring it to real life. We actually trick our brain when we take something out of our mind and write it down and make it think we completed the task. Not in an unhealthy way, like we don't actually have to do it, but in a way that allows us to think more clearly, that because it has been properly written down and put somewhere, it can be compartmentalized and your mind is more clear to be able to do other things. No matter what you do professionally, writing is by far one of the most important things you can do for thinking and planning and feeling and removing stress. Just get into the habit of writing everything down. I have a bullet journal. I take it with me everywhere because I like to hand write anything that pops into my mind immediately so that I can clear it from my brain and move on. And then later I can sit down with that paper or that list of things in my notebook and do something with it, like schedule it or delegate or whatever has to happen. Next for mindset is to make your bed every day. This sounds ridiculous. I know. Like, how is my mindset going to be better in 2021 just because I made my bed? But I have to say that it is just that one thing that is so annoying to come home to when it's not done, and also so easy to do to start the day, that just by conquering something so small, it gives you the ability to feel what it's like to finish something, and maybe more things like that will happen throughout the day. The harder things, the things that take longer, the tasks you've been putting off. When we put off making our bed, we are saying, I am not willing to do what is possible to do in 30 seconds. And what makes us think we're going to be able to do anything that takes longer than 30 seconds if we won't do those things? Next, read a page every morning. If you say you can't read because you don't have time and you're not much of a reader, or you don't enjoy it, I recommend you at least read one page of something. And just to be able to say, like, I do read, I read the bare minimum, and that's enough for me. Have it be something you actually want to read, something you're excited about, and just read a page. At least break ground on this thing that seems so ridiculous to you that you would have time to read when there's so many other things going on. We are blessed beyond words for the words that are printed in a book that somebody took the time to put together so that you could skip all the mistakes that they made and take all of the tips that they discovered in all of their hard work. Why would you pass up on that opportunity? And certainly, why not do it first thing in the morning so you can then go into your day with that knowledge? It's amazing what your mind can do when you start to feed it. Now let's move on to your career. My 7th tip is to keep an achievement log. This seems very self-congratulatory, right? Like, today I achieved Employee of the Month. Yeah, I mean, like, why would you not want to feel good about that? If you do achieve something, even if it wasn't the reason you got started, even if it wasn't what you were out for, or maybe it was, maybe you've been busting your butt on this journey to get to Employee of the Month, whatever, write it down. One of the best tips I ever got was Alyssa Mastromonaco on detail therapy, and it was like, you should always be working on your resumes. And now I know it's here and I'm going to be able to remember it because I can refer back to this at any time when I'm needing a little bit of a confidence boost. My next tip is to take notes after every meeting. Remember how I said you should always write? The best thing you can do after you get done meeting with somebody, whether it's a phone call or a coffee appointment or even just a happenstance moment, take notes of what happened after that meeting. Best case scenario is something that you can apply to your life that you don't want to forget and you want to refer back to later, but you know you're about to forget because you have to move on to the next thing and the next commitment, and we easily lose the details of what happened in the meeting that we were in. But also, I find things like suddenly I caught an anniversary date from someone, or I found out a child's birthday, or I know something that somebody might want for Christmas because they mentioned it in casual conversation. Take notes after your meeting so that you always have something to refer back to. My next tip is to accept criticism regularly. This is a challenge for me. But what I will say is that the more I accept criticism and tell myself immediately that it's coming, because it always comes. I mean, it's amazing. It just shows up everywhere. Criticism, just absolutely everywhere. I tell myself, don't take anything personally that's about to happen, because I'll approach the topic so differently and observe and accept the criticism so that I can figure out what to do with it. If I'm like, this is a troll who lives in their mother's basement, I can just compartmentalize that as something I no longer need to refer to. But if I'm getting criticism that is actually constructive and it just hurts my creative feelings a little bit, or I think I worked really hard on something and someone should just congratulate me, I will accept it and then try to figure out what to do with it. Shout out to my husband, I'm still working on this. I'm not the best, okay? And he's the only one living with me or seeing me on a regular basis right now. So I'm trying to take this healthy habit into the future. Moving on to relationships. Tip number 10 is to keep track of birthdays and mail a card when you can. We live in a world where this never happens anymore. And by far and away, I literally probably 95% of the time get a text or an oh my gosh from someone because I mailed them a birthday card. We don't have to spend all kinds of money on people. We don't have to buy gift cards. We don't have to go above and beyond, because above and beyond is snail mail. People don't even think about it anymore. They think they need to just hurry up and email an Amazon gift card and mission accomplished. But somebody might actually feel more loved if you just put a little bit more intention, maybe even words of affirmation in their direction. My next tip is to label excellence instead of perfection. The moment that you want to look at somebody and go, oh my gosh, I love Amy's video set, it's so perfect. Or, oh my gosh, I love what that girl does on Instagram. That's so amazing. It's just perfect. She's just perfect. Everything she does is perfect. First of all, perfect is a big word. And you're also kind of demeaning somebody's work when you say that, as if it all just showed up perfect. You may not mean it that way. You may think, you know what, no, I know they worked hard on it, but it's just perfect. It's not perfect. We all know it's not perfect. We all know everything we see is not the entire story. But if someone has achieved excellence, that's a totally different thing to say. That is a compliment above all compliments. And it makes you think differently about what's possible for you. Instead of saying, oh, that person is perfect, everything they do is perfect, I just wish I was like that. Say, that person is excellent at what they do. And you reframe the journey to get to that point. And next, for relationships, always offer help. If you're like me and you have a hard time asking for help, I can tell you by far and away, the thing that has helped me combat not asking for help is by offering help. Even if I feel like I don't actually have the capacity to do my best work, I still ask, how can I support? What do I need to do to help you carry this bucket of water forward? Because at least by offering, you feel like you can come to me as someone to talk to or actually request that help from. And then we can go from there. Just because you offer help doesn't mean that you're signing up for the full job, first of all. And second of all, when you offer help, it's a lot easier to ask for return. Let's move on to wealth. My 13th tip is to set a set percentage of how much money you will always save of your take-home pay, no matter what. Decide if it's 1%, 5%, 10%. Maybe you're not in debt and it's like 50%. Choose how much of your pay you're gonna set aside. And when you get paid, make it automatic. Whether you manually transfer or you can activate different features. Technology is amazing these days to say, I want this amount taken every single time and moved to a savings account. We are not taught this enough in our lives, certainly not children. We are not given the ability to see the vision on paying ourselves first, meaning saving money before worrying about the other stuff. We live differently if we work that way. But if we work by paying our debts first and then saving later, we go further into debt, we take on more than we're supposed to. And my next tip on that front to make sure you're feeling good about everything is to keep a bank buffer. I actually have a whole account in my checking account arsenal that is just for buffer money. It is money set aside for if, for God forbid, one of my other accounts dips a little too deep. You know, we all know what that overdraft situation looks like. And the account will automatically pull from the buffer, not costing me any fees or anything, so that I can cover however extra we went, and then I go back and balance those books accordingly when I check on my accounts. But I don't have to lose sleep every night thinking, is my account overdrafting? I always keep that buffer topped up, even if for some reason money got pulled out of it automatically, and then I level out the accounts accordingly. But having that buffer account really keeps things in check. The banks offer these features to us where we don't have to overdraft and pay all kinds of money. We can move our savings money around to cover when those moments happen, and they do. And we shouldn't have to feel ashamed about that. We can just take the steps to prevent tragedy happening and spending money on fees that we don't have to. And my next tip is a really simple one that is very hard for a lot of people. If you want to be able to save, if you want to be able to have better financial wellness, pay off your credit cards and stop paying interest. Interest is insane on credit cards. The amount of money you pay every month by leaving a balance there is obnoxious. I mean, just look at how much you spent and then look at how much you spent on top of that just because they let you have a little bit of extra money. It's not your money, honey. You borrowing that and you're gonna pay big time interest on it. You're not gonna be able to save well if you're paying 12, 18, 26% interest. So put a stop to it as soon as you can. Next is spirituality. My 16th tip is to keep a gratitude journal. It is so easy to remember what we're grateful for, isn't it? It's like we're so far up our own butts. It's like we don't have enough. There's not enough. I don't have enough money in savings. I don't have this. I don't have that. What do you have? Do you have breath? Do you have a new day? Do you have the morning to yourself? Do you have a snow day? What are you grateful for? It does not have to be this grand philosophical thing. It can be something really simple. Something you saved up to buy, a moment that you had with your significant other, the light in your children's eyes. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're truly grateful for it, write it down. My next tip is to default to grace. One of the biggest things that I've learned about what I talked about earlier with accepting criticism is not only don't take this personally, but actually try to sit in someone's seat, put their shoes on, put their thinking cap on, and really try to understand where they're coming from. And if you can't, just assume the worst. They just lost somebody they love. They just lost their job. They're hard on how things are going in their life right now. And they're taking it out on the situations around them because that's what we do. We're human. It just is. So if you feel that it was undeserved, default to grace, because ultimately that person will learn their lesson later. It is not on you to teach it. You must teach yourself to be able to handle it and move forward no matter what. And my next tip is to look for positive signs instead of negative. It can be really easy to say, oh gosh, that's a cloud, it's gonna rain. But instead, looking at things differently and saying, oh, that's a sign that Lucy is watching over me, or that's a sign that I should move forward and try this thing that's really hard, and look at things in a more positive light. I know it's hard because most things are indicating to us that it's a tragic, bleak situation. But choose otherwise, because things are only as good or as bad as we decide. And finally, your legacy. My next tip is to give credit, always. Always give credit. Give credit to the person who gave you a good idea. Give credit to the person who gave you an awesome recipe. Give credit to somebody for helping you. Give credit to somebody even if they didn't help you that much, just to make them feel good. Give credit by connecting people that you know that should know each other. One of the craziest things I think that happened this year was when Kobe Bryant died. I think a lot of people will agree to that. And one of the last things he did was congratulate LeBron James on Twitter for beating his own record. And it really is a testament to this, that if you were to leave life right now, what will people say about you? And is one of those things that you were able to give a hat tip when it was due. Like you were able to give credit when it was due and shine a light on someone else. Because if you do that, you don't dim your own. That I think is really important when it comes to thinking about what your legacy is when you're here on earth. My 20th healthy habit is to give anything you can to the causes that you believe in. Whether it's a little bit of money every month to a charity that you trust, or it's a local community effort that you can give your time to because that makes more sense for you and that's more possible for you. Give the time that you can, give the money you can, just give anything you can, reasonably, generously, for the things that you believe in. Because it's a huge part of how we see the big vision and the big perspective over what we're really doing with our lives. And finally, my last tip is a little morbid, but I think it's extremely important. And it is number 21. This is a healthy habit, believe it or not. I want you to think about your own death every day. Every single day, I look at the Memento Mori coin and I think, what if I left life right now? What would the effect be? What would happen to the people who love me? What would happen to my affairs? What would happen in my business, with my team? What would happen with my community? What would happen if I were gone tomorrow? By doing that, hard to think about because I'm actually more broken up now because I'm in such a habit of thinking about it. I'm more broken up thinking about all those people or all of those things and the changes that I want to affect on the world and what is undone and what I could say or the time I could spend or what I should do instead of waiting for it to be perfect, just get it out there to help people. You look at life so differently about what you get to do today instead of what you have to do. When you put in perspective, you could not be here tomorrow. There's a chance. There's always a chance. Those are the 21 healthy habits I think will help you in 2021. Maybe you'll pick up one or two. Which ones did you like the most? The question of the day is to leave that in the comments below. Which one will you start next year. Thanks again to our friends of Care Of for sponsoring this episode of Amy TV. Check out more details about their online quiz and how you can get custom vitamins for your healthy lifestyle in the description down below. And just a quick reminder, we are kicking off the official 30-day challenge for Good Morning, Good Life. For those of you who picked up the new planner. Oh, isn't it so cute? Hi. Or if you have the limited edition planner. If you purchased either of these planners, you are eligible to participate in the challenge. Check out the link in the description below for more details. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, remember, subscribe for good vibes, kiss the ones you love, and go after the life you want. Cheers. Personalization. Today I got the employee of the month. I didn't even know how to finish that sentence. My 16th tip is to keep a real long. Oh dang, that was real long. My bad.